Today, I am baking raspberry scones for my daughter's 3rd birthday. She asked for a tea party, and who doesn't love scones at a tea party? Come bake this super easy and delicious raspberry scone recipe with me. I'm Rachel, and welcome to my kitchen, a place where you can learn to bake in a relaxed and simple way. If you've never baked before, or if you're busy with life or little kids, I want you to feel at home and at ease here in my kitchen. For this baking project, you will just need some basic baking items, such as mixing bowls, measuring spoons and cups, and of course, a pastry blender. In the past, when I've made scones, I have just used my regular biscuit recipe and added a little sugar. You can find a link to that video in the description below. This recipe was new to me, but in doing some research, I read that an egg and heavy cream can help them not turn out as crumbly. For these scones, I used organic white flour, which I like to buy at Costco. I also used baking powder, white sugar, salt, eggs, butter, vanilla, and heavy cream. Okay, I'm going to measure 2 cups of flour into my bowl to start us out. There's 1 and 2. This calls for a 1/3 cup of sugar. Alright, and for baking powder, I'm going to do 2.5 teaspoons. That's about right. And about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just going to mix all of this together with a fork. All right, I'm gonna chop 8 tablespoons of butter just into little chunks. That will help with incorporating it into the flour. And I'm using it straight from the fridge because that keeps it cold, but you could also put it in the freezer if you wanted, and that will just help it not get too soft or too melty in the scones. I love my pastry blender. If you've seen my other videos, you know this, for biscuits or for pie crust. Perfect little tool, everybody should have one, and it's great for chopping the butter into the flour. So I'm just breaking the butter apart right now. Right now it's still a little bit too big, so I'll keep chopping until they're pretty small. I'm gonna pause here and preheat my oven. I forgot to do that earlier, but I wanna have it ready to go fairly quickly. I set it to 350 degrees. So if you're adding something to your scones instead of just doing plain scones like berries or chocolate chips, it's a good idea to add it to the ingredients when it's dry. That way they don't bleed or mix together too much. And so I will be putting raspberries in this recipe. My daughter wanted raspberry scones. So I'll add the frozen raspberries here, and then I'll add in the other heavy cream mixture. But I think I'm gonna just leave this here for now. I'm gonna do the heavy cream and the egg in a separate bowl, and then we'll put the raspberries in the dry mixture and then put it all together. There's 1 egg in this recipe, and I need 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm mixing all this together in a separate bowl so that the egg gets broken up well. All right, there's that. And then we're gonna do the berries. All right, this is half a cup. I think I'm gonna do 1 full cup of berries. And I didn't want to put these in earlier because I didn't want them to be melting while I was mixing up the cream. But here we go. And mixing it here in the flour is just gonna coat them all evenly so that they don't bleed into the dough as much. They will some, but that's okay. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in the cream, egg, and vanilla. I'm gonna start with my fork, but I will have to switch to using my hands to get it to kind of all come together. Since this is a new recipe for me, I will kind of test out, do I need a little bit more moisture? Do I need a little bit more of the heavy cream? And just kind of see what is needed. Since the butter is cold, it might not come together as quick straight away. It is a little bit dry. Not quite coming together like I would hope. Again, I think it's because the butter is so cold. So I'm just gonna add another splash of heavy cream. See if that brings it together. And I'm trying to avoid over mixing because you can see the raspberries are beginning to melt. So I don't want it to be super mixed together, but I need it to come together in a ball. Okay, I'm gonna stop here and wash my hands and then start working on the surface. Okay, I'm just gonna clean up the counter a little bit so we have some space to work. Just make sure raspberries, dude. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the dough out onto the counter now. It still needs to come together a little bit more, but I think it'll be easier to do without overworking it if it's out here. So just a little bit that I need to kind of squish in. And I'm gonna make an oval. And just press it down. You don't need a rolling pin. Flour. Okay. There. I don't know. What would you say? Like almost an inch? Maybe a little less. I'm making these a little smaller. We're gonna do mini scones, so I think I'm gonna cut them pretty small. But then you can just use a knife and gently separate it out. So if you wanted larger scones, you would just want to cut one more time on each of them. You'd have 8 large scones. I'm gonna kind of cut them small so that we have enough for the party. So here they are, super cute. And now I gotta get my hands clean again and prepare my baking sheet. All right, so we got 12 cute little scones. The oven's not quite preheated, but I am gonna bake them for about 15 minutes. We'll check on them at that point and see if they need any more time than that. In your mouth, ah. Hosanna, would you like a little egg?
Yeah. Doodle pig. And finish my food.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
Maybe you feel this way too. Baking is fun, but it sure comes with a lot of little messes. I always try to clean as I go when I can, but most days if you peek into my kitchen, it will be a mess. But that's just real life, right?
So usually when I have about 10 or 15 minutes, I try to get as many dishes as I can done. Just knock out what I can while I'm waiting for what's in the oven. My husband just discovered up at the top of the shelf, I had some salt dough ornaments that I was waiting to let just air dry. Looks like I need to flip it over, but little remnants of Christmas. So I want to check underneath, just make sure they're not browning too much. I'm just gonna give them like 1 more minute.
They just look. Raspberry.
You ready for those raspberry scones?
Yeah, I'm all
Excited for
ready.
your party?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put them on the tray. You guys can look at them. It's gonna be hard to not want to eat one, huh?
Yeah. Scone. 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 I just want a raspberry scone.
That's the trouble with making something early, huh?
What? For me?
Some rations.
Leave this here and everybody gets a little taste, okay? They are hot. Do you want to wait until they're not?
No! Yeah! Right on the napkin.
Your teeny tiny scone. Pretend you're a mouse. There you go. It's hot. Teeny tiny bite for Daddy.
This
Yes, I want one. Are you excited for your birthday party?
Yeah.
How old are you?
3.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday was her birthday, but her party's in 2 days.
We're gonna have them at her party, so now we have to be patient with self-control. So I think in the future, I might make these a little bit smaller. I was kind of going for like a mini scone, but they do expand a little bit when they bake. So I think next time I might even cut them into like triangles that are even half that size, just because I was looking for like a very small spot piece. And they did kind of lose their shape a little bit. I think that's fine when it comes. Got a balloon for that.
Party!
That's what you say.
It's okay with me if they're not exactly perfectly formed, but maybe if you're looking for a very specific shape, you need to do a little bit more, I guess, mixing of the dough and really pressing it together. I think I would feel better with that if it was a plain scone. Since the raspberries were in there, I really didn't want to mush them. So I was trying to not squish it together, but maybe they end up a little bit more compact. Here it is. Here it is. Like I was saying, I think if you want them to be a little bit more compact and to keep their shape, perhaps you would want to squish that ball of dough together a little bit more. But I like how they turned out, and I think that they will be enjoyed at the party for sure.
These raspberry scones were easy and fun to make. I think any new baker would enjoy this recipe. They smelled and looked so good that it was hard to wait and not want to eat them the day that I made them.
So I'm just going to put the scones in a container, and I think I'm just going to keep them in the fridge because I don't need them to last very long, just 2 more days until the party. But yeah, I'm going to keep them in the fridge so they stay nice, and then I think I'll just crisp them up, warm them up in the oven on the day of the party, right before we have our tea party. So getting them all in here now. Hopefully they can all fit in this one container. Would be nice.
On the day of the party, we started out by making whipped cream frosting for the raspberry cupcakes that I had made. I love involving my kids, especially on their birthdays, so of course I had some help getting them decorated.
Oh man.
Time for me to eat.
What a mess.
What a mess.
What a mess.
Yummy food, yummy.
On Hosanna's foot.
Yummy, yummy.
Whoopsies.
So then I got to look at the
So after this, Hosanna and I need to go get ourselves ready for the party.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Go.
Is this like it's gonna be on the next?
So we all 3 go on the same one. This is your special cupcake. Okay? It goes right here. It goes right here. Okay. This is your special cupcake when it's time to sing.
This mine smells the delicious.
It smells the most deliciousest.
But I like to eat it.
Before our family arrived for the tea party, I put the scones back in the oven for a few minutes at 350 degrees. I wanted them to be warm, as well as to have that nice flaky texture that you want in scones. I had fun decorating the table with all our unique teacups, flowers, pretty pink candles, and of course, the delicious raspberry scones. We loved celebrating our sweet 3-year-old girl, and the tea party was a success. Everyone loved the scones, and I wished we had made a double batch because we all wanted seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna light these and we're gonna sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hosanna. Happy birthday to you.
This is your birthday song.